Yeah. So for those listening, next week you might be listening to Jimmy and Anna, who are going back to school to become teachers, because we reviewed Summer School from 1987 and want
We
our
were like,
summers
this
off.
is kind of genius. Why haven't we
Yeah.
done it? Yo, I'd have
Shoop is a genius.
I'd have the sweetest pension right now. I could have been retired by now.
Lights, camera, and action. Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Remember those childhood movies you loved? We're going to watch them again and find out if they're still as amazing as you remember. Let's get ready to join Anna and Jimmy as they go back and watch those movies you remember being oh so awesomely good. Horror movies that scared. Comedy movies that dared. And action movies so preposterously ludicrous that they defied the laws of common sense. Now, here's your hosts, Anna Santos and Jimmy Coates.
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. And today we're still in the 80s. Very excited about this next movie, 1987's Summer School.
I'm excited and terrified.
Yeah, it can't be. This movie can't be bad. I've seen it. Before we started recording, I was about to say that so it came out in 87. When it came out on HBO or whatever in 88, because I had HBO and all that. And I also had, this was around 88. I really started to get into movies. Like certain movies just started grabbing me. And this was one of them. And not just in 1988, 89, 90. I watched this movie quite a few times.
Same.
Yeah. And I loved it.
Yeah, me too.
I have not seen this since sometime in the 90s. I might have caught a bit of it in the early 2000s on TV, maybe, but not fully. The last full time, it would have been in the 90s.
I think the last time I saw it was the mid 2000s. I don't think at most 2010 was the last time I saw it. At most. So
a little while ago.
It's still been a while, at least 15 years.
Yeah.
Perhaps more. Not 100% sure on that. But whenever there was a time where this was on, I think A&E.
Oh God, yeah.
Like 3 times a day for like 6 weeks straight.
I was going to say TBS. For me, it was TBS.
Yeah, I watched it every single time.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, Summer School. Yeah, I've probably seen this movie like 20 or 30 times.
Yeah.
No joke.
Me, my brother, my friends. This was one of the greatest movies of the 80s.
And I loved it every time.
Yeah.
Stupid, but funny, heartfelt. Like, I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah. Well, it stars Mark Harmon, who was huge in the 80s and the 90s. And then he did, what was the show?
NCIS.
NCIS. Is it still on?
The show is still on. He left.
He left.
Yeah.
But he was on it for
He was on it for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, no joke. I think he was on it for like 18 seasons.
Oh my God. Talk about job security. Jesus Christ. Because I'm sure they paid him a fortune.
Oh, by the end of it, I think he also had like producer credits and, he was very involved.
Yeah. It also has Kristie Alley, who is awesome she was still doing Cheers while this was on, actually, she might have just started Cheers.
I think she might have just started Cheers.
Yeah. And she was like, I love Kristie Alley. I think
she is an incredible actress.
Yeah.
She has amazing comedic chops. She is also a super Scientologist.
Yeah.
Or she was also a super Scientologist because I think she's dead, right? Yeah.
She's with
totally
Ron Hubbard now.
She is.
On his spaceship, wearing new sneakers and shit. It also has, I had a crush on every girl in this movie.
I wanted to be every girl in this movie.
Courtney Thorne Smith. Jesus.
Yes.
Shawnee Smith. Are they related?
I don't think so, no.
Who was the exchange student?
Oh God, Fabiana Udenio.
Yeah, But all the guys in the movie I just thought they were hilarious. Like Dean Cameron, Gary Riley, who plays Chainsaw is Dean Cameron and Dave is Gary Riley. He didn't do a whole lot. Dean Cameron did quite a few things.
He did.
A lot of the people here that you see them in a lot of other movies, like Patrick Laborto. I don't know. I can't pronounce his name.
Wait,
You'll know his face.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think he was a child actor.
I thought the vice principal
he was also on Jag. Hey.
Oh, that's right. He was on a few episodes of Jag, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, he was a series regular for a while. Yeah, what else? Apparently he was on Little House on the Prairie.
Oh,
I know. He also
I bought the entire series. I just want to sit there and go to a simpler time.
All right. He was in Heathers. Apparently he's also done some NCIS, a bunch of TV movies. Yeah, he was. Oh, apparently he's done some 21 Jump Street, the series.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so he was working.
And it was directed by Carl Reiner, who's done a couple good movies.
Yeah, just a few.
Yeah, he's a legendary director. Yes. The Jerk is one of I remember laughing my ass off as a kid. Probably funnier now. I probably get a lot more of the humor now. But Ocean's 11 and he was an actor in Ocean's 11.
Yeah, he was in Ocean's 11 and Ocean's 12. And I think Ocean's 13 too.
Yeah.
Acting. And I loved him in it.
Yeah.
Loved him.
What did he actually direct? He directed Enter Laughing, Good Morning, The Comic, Where's Papa? A lot of old Oh God. With that old guy. What's his name? George Burns. Jesus.
Oh my God. I blanked on his name. I had his face in my head and I was like, I know what you look like.
Oh, this is weird. He did Man with Two Brains, All of Me, Summer School, and the movie we're doing next week. He also directs Summer Rental.
Back to back Carl Reiners.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So it has, and I've seen it so many times. So what do we think the budget of Summer School 1987 was?
Oh, dude, this was maybe $2 million. Maybe. And that's assuming they had to rent the summer house. The beach house.
The 1987 movie Summer School had a production budget of $12 million. Really?
Holy crap, that high?
Wow. That's a lot for an 87 comedy.
That only had really 3 locations and then studio?
Yeah, most of it was like the school. Oh, they went to
his beach house.
But they also went to the
strip club.
Yeah, that was funny. The amusement park.
Oh, that's right. They probably would have had to rent that.
12 million seems
still 12 million feels.
I think our producer. I think they're
Maybe it's because of the actors. Like you have Harmon, Alley, and then Robin Thomas was doing a lot of work, and then you've got a lot of kind of more classic actors. Maybe it was Carl Reiner. Maybe he cost a lot.
Mark Harmon was pretty big in 87. But it's not like they were giving actors $20 million.
No. I think he probably would have been paid maybe $500,000, $1 million for this. Yeah. That would have been huge. But then you also have to look at not just the other actors who were in it, but I mean, Carl Reiner would have cost a good chunk of money. Also, if you did any location shooting, that would cost a pretty penny. Yeah. Especially depending on how Reiner was directing.
And it made $35.6 million in its run. So even still, $12 million, this movie turned a profit.
It made a good chunk of change.
And the amount of times, like you said, we've seen it on TV, it must have made a fortune in licensing. It must have made a fortune in rentals and VHS back in the day. Well, it opened on July 24th. I would have opened up a little sooner than that, but at least they opened it in the summer.
Yeah. I will give them props for that.
It opened in third place with $6 million behind RoboCop, which was still in the second week. That movie made a lot of money. The re-release of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Oh, look!
And wasn't that the first re-release that Disney did? of their animated features. I think that was the first re-release.
No, because if you remember, as we discussed back in License to Drive, I went to a re-release of Song of the South.
Oh.
In the remember my racist granny took me to see Song of the South.
Right.
No, I think in the 80s,
racism.
I think the 80s, they did a lot of re-releases.
This was when they started doing the re-releases. So a lot of these
Yeah.
movies nobody had seen in theaters.
Making all this money on a movie, like you said this last time, they're making millions on a movie that they made 50 years ago.
100%.
I think this Snow White movie made more than the new Snow White.
Oh, 100%.
I haven't seen that. I don't want to see it.
I don't really feel like watching it either.
No. My little 7-year-old wants to see it because it said Snow White, and I'm like, I don't want to watch it.
I have a personal hate on for all of these like live action remakes of.
I thought the Cinderella one was kind of cool, but they kept going with them. Do we really need a live remake of every movie?
We don't.
Like maybe ones that were forgotten, like the 80s didn't do well with their new movies, like Black Cauldron and stuff like that. Didn't do. Maybe do that, or I don't know. And most of them are so CGI heavy, you're practically just doing a cartoon anyways.
Yeah. Don't even get me started. Yeah. I get so mad at it because I'm like, the original movie is just fine.
It's timeless. Yeah.
You may have to have some conversations with your children's about some of the content, but that's fine. And it's totally okay to be like, well, Snow White is not that. I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah, if you go see Song of the South, you might want to have a
you're going to have conversations. But I mean,
I don't think they're going to redo that in the live action.
There are certain things like language that they use that you wouldn't use now, but you'd be like, that's just how they talked in 1937.
And actually, I did watch something because you were saying that it's okay to put warnings. I watched something with my kid, and they did have a warning about. Yeah. I can't remember what it was, but they had a warning that there's a point in this movie where this is discussed. We're warning you. Here you go.
We're going to talk about it. Yeah. And it also prepares you in case you have to have a conversation with your kids if you're watching it with them.
Yeah.
But I don't think we need to like censor, edit, or update to like wokeify things or make it more palatable to today's market. No. Either it works in today's market or it doesn't. Like, keep it moving.
So it opened in third behind RoboCop Snow White. It beat out Superman 4, the shittiest Superman ever made that is so bad that it might be good. And then La Bamba opened as well in fifth. I remember loving that movie.
I remember loving it too.
And in its second week at sixth place was Just the Revenge. That's the one where it growls like a tiger underwater. That might be so bad it's good too. Full Metal Jacket.
Loving it.
Yeah, I do too. Full Metal Jacket was awesome. Dragnet with Tom Hanks and Dan Aykroyd.
I'm pretty sure I've seen that at least only once, probably.
Yeah, I remember liking it, but I don't. Yeah, that was not one that I've seen a lot.
But yeah,
Revenge of the Nerds 2 and Adventures in Babysitting.
Oh,
and as you can see, oh my God, look below: Beverly Hills Cop 2, Untouchables, Roxanne with Steve Martin, The Witches of Eastwick, Inner Space, Spaceballs, and Predator. Holy shit, what a great. I wouldn't know what to go see.
That would have been the greatest week to go to the movies.
Oh, those movies are awesome. Well,
I'd have to go every day, twice a day.
Yeah. You know they're making a Spaceballs too, right?
I know, I heard. I am so excited.
I can't wait. Rick Moranis is coming out of retirement to play Dark Helmet. What's his name?
So many of the original cast are coming back.
Yeah. If they haven't passed away, it looks like they're coming back.
I know.
Yeah, and hopefully Mel Brooks hangs on long enough.
Yeah,
he's like 95 or something.
But
he's still very. Yeah, he's still
going. He's still going. We should review Spaceballs. I haven't watched it in a while.
Yeah.
It's okay. We can do that.
So it opened in third. It dropped to fifth, but it still made 4 million. Dropped to seventh, still made 3. Dropped to 10, still made 2. Dropped to 12, still made 1. So it had legs again. The movies back in the day had some pretty good legs.
It did well.
Yeah. It did pretty good.
And this is all just like domestic. There was no international.
No international.
This is straight up just like North America.
So Summer School 1987 taglines. Dun, dun, dun. At Oceanfront High, what do they call a guy who cuts classes, hates homework, and lives for summer vacations? A teacher.
That's not a tagline.
That's all I got. That's it.
That's a lazy marketing department. That's what that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Let's take a look at this will be the DVD, and then
Mm-hmm.
this is the one that people might be familiar with, the Bikini Crossing, but this was the actual movie poster.
Mark
And for those
Harmon.
listening, it actually says that tagline. What do you call it?
Yeah.
And then it has Mark Harmon in his Hawaiian shirt and his dog. What do you call his dog?
I forget.
And then he had that little toy that the dog liked.
Yes.
That's it. It's just them.
That's
But I
nice.
like the movie so much, I would put this in my movie room.
Oh,
That's
I
how
would
much
too.
I remember loving this movie.
I 100% would.
It's not the greatest poster, but it is the greatest poster.
But
because
Mark
it's one
Harmon
of
is
the
a
greatest movies.
hottie in it. So I'm like, yeah, Mark Harmon.
Yeah, he was
dog
right
wearing
up there with Tom
sunglasses.
Selleck and
Yeah. He was very popular.
Remington Steele. What's his name?
Pierce Brosnan.
James Bond, Pierce Brosnan, right? Yeah.
I liked Remington Steele. I used to watch that all the time.
My parents loved Remington Steele. And it was on the same night as something me and my brother loved watching, probably like Knight Rider, Dukes of Hazzard, something stupid. And we couldn't watch it because they were watching Remington Steele. All right. How do we think this did? The review?
I think it's pretty mid. I don't think it's
I would say
super
mid.
popular. Yeah. Like
I think
probably
audience
6 to 7.
Yeah. I think it's a bit mixed here.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look.
Maybe 5.5 to 6.5. I think that's more accurate. Because I could see critics being like, it's very serviceable, like it does its job, whatever. It's a stupid movie. I could see audience liking it more.
Yeah.
And being in the like 6.5-ish range. Nothing higher than 6.5, I don't think.
All right, let's take a look.
Let's go.
Well, you're close. 57. Oh, I'm surprised at the audience score is at 58%.
Oh.
No. Okay. You can't have License to Drive at like 78 and Summer School at 58. That doesn't make sense. What the hell? All right. I did the good last time because I only had a couple. So I'll do the good this time. And you do the good and I'll do the bad.
Okay. I'll do the good.
You can start with a good one.
I am ready to start with a good one. Okay. The number of students changes. The big test doesn't mean much. And the parents are inexplicably pleased with the havoc. But such charming preposterousness makes for a laid-back rewatch. That's from Kristen Battistella, In Session Film. No official score.
This is Brian Costello from Common Sense Media, who did it just a couple years ago. It's another 80s comedy that the teens of the 80s, who are now parents of the 21st century, are likely to be shocked and appalled by the dated and iffy content. 2 out of 5. Ooh.
Interesting.
Now I'm excited about watching it.
Bob Thomas from the Associated Press reviewed this in 2020. An endearing, convulsively funny, and faintly thoughtful hot weather entertainment.
This one's weird from Hal Bodecker of Miami Herald. Boy, is it dumb, but boy, is it funny. 2.5 out of 4.
Oh.
It's not really a bad review, but it's got a rotten.
No. So Brian Orndorff of DVDtalk.com says Summer School might lack a hipster razor edge, but its funny bone personality is larger than life. It's a film I adore for its purity of intentions. Original score A-.
Janet Maslin of the New York Times says Mr. Harmon has an easygoing attractiveness, but neither he nor anyone else seems comfortable with the film's antic pace. And for all of its busyness, this comedy has no real focus, ricocheting from character to character with wearing abandon. 1.5 out of 5.
Wow. Ooh. Scott Weinberg from DVD Clinic says Reiner keeps everything movie while letting Harmon do the heavy lifting as his young co-stars sprinkle the chuckles around. Original score 3.5 out of 5.
Tessa Thomas from Washington Post says, here are some of the summer school's favorite things: idiocy, illiteracy, irresponsibility, drunkenness, dumbness, and debauchery. Peaked.
Okay. Christopher Null from filmcritic.com. If there was any justice in the world, we'd be seeing reruns of this on TNT every Sunday instead of endless repeats of 16 Candles and its ilk. Original score, 3.5 out of 5.
Back in the day, dude, this was on an endless loop on TNT and TBS. This will be my last one. Roger Ebert, Chicago Sun-Times, a comedy so listless, leisurely, and unspirited that it was an act of the will for me to care about it, even while I was watching it. 0.5 out of 4.
Ooh, harsh. And this is my last one. Jerry Shamray from Your Movies at cleveland.com says, not as lame as you'd think. It really is funny. Original score, 4 out of 5. I think that's a good one to end on.
All right, let's go to IMDb. 23,000 people give this 6.6 out of 10. So a little higher than Rotten Tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't remember if I started at 10. I think I did.
I think you did.
Yeah, so you can start with 10.
Let me see. Totally awesome 80s movie. Craven 80, 10 out of 10.
Ab2 says, I went in with bad expectations and came out quite surprised how funny and enjoyable this movie was. 9 out of 10.
Enjoyable with many early appearances by now familiar faces. That's from Riley Cal. 8 out of 10.
7 out of 10. 7. Just a fun summer movie. Jeff Ball, prisoner number 97554. 7 out of 10. And he also said, who doesn't love Mark Harmon?
I mean, true. Not intelligent, but it brings some sunshine on a rainy afternoon. Philip Vandervecken, 6 out of 10.
The one that you wanted says, it spoiled Texas Chainsaw Massacre for me. 5 out of 10.
There's only one 4 out of 10, and it's What a Crazy Summer from Michael Rokeefe.
And I have only 2 for 3 out of 10. Pretty worthless except for a few chuckles. Shanur.
That's fantastic. There are no 2 out of 10s.
Oh. And there are no 1 out of 10s.
Huh. Would you look at that?
All right. Well, then let us go. Did we cover everything? Yeah, I believe we did.
Yeah.
So we will watch. I could spell. Which, given the title of the movie, looks bad on me. Can't even spell fucking summer.
It's so hard.
Did you go to have you ever gone to summer school?
No.
I did. Grade 9. It was nothing like this movie. I was sorely disappointed.
I have never gone to summer school.
I had to go for grade 9 for 2 courses. I was so pissed.
Thankfully, I managed to avoid that. I mean, barely. Just ask my grade 11 math teacher and my grade 12 math teacher. Barely.
All right, let's share this. I did go with my cousin though, so we had not that bad of a time.
Yeah,
but I would rather have not gone to summer school. This movie made summer school look so awesome.
Look, unless the summer school is like a semester abroad in Italy, I don't want it.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
You know what we need? I mean, besides bread, we need a woman to appreciate what we have to offer.
Freddie Shoup loves to cut class, hates to do homework, lives for summer vacation.
Look, Freddie, you're a semi-charming guy and a real snappy dresser. You're just not the kind of guy I date anymore.
Yeah? What kind of guy you date now?
Oh, the kind who wears socks.
And the only reason he hasn't been expelled yet is because he's the gym teacher.
Oh, Mr. Shoup.
At Oceanfront High.
Congratulations. You've been chosen to teach summer school. No, I'm not a real teacher. That's all right. These aren't real students. They're unmotivated, irresponsible, not too bright. They'll relate to you.
You in this class too?
I'm teaching him.
No way!
Right off the bat, you show him who's in charge. Please take your seats.
Where should we take him?
Who is in charge?
I recommend this time I pass. You're gonna do well, Jerome. I can feel it.
I've seen some of your students. Very scary.
There's a very valid reason for summer vacation. The human brain needs rest.
I know you guys aren't exactly fired up about English. We're stuck here. We're trapped like rats.
Tension breaker had to be done.
Mark Harmon,
You need an intelligent, sensitive man who can skate.
Kristie Alley.
Do you know such a guy?
Oh, they're hard to find. In the Oceanfront High summer school class of 87.
As smart as you and me.
You and I.
All of us. Paramount Pictures presents new film by Carl Reiner, Summer School.
I love this film. It had passion, it had plucky spirit. Dave, I agree with you. Thumbs up from me. Same here. To sum it up, I'm Chainsaw. I'm Dave. We'll see you at the movies.
Yay! This movie has to be good.
I still think I'm gonna like it.
I still think I'm gonna like it too.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll like it as much as I did back then, but just watching the trailer brought back a lot of memories of
It was already, I was like, oh, they left out some people. They left out some people.
yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm excited to watch this. I think I'm gonna like it too.
I think I'm actually gonna gamble and buy it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did I buy it? I'm gonna have to go looking. I bought a whole bunch of movies.
Go looking.
Because Shout Studios did a Blu-ray, and when Shout does a movie, they put an unbelievable amount of extras on their stuff. Wonder if I can get it. Oh, I could probably get it from Amazon. Yeah. It's probably not. Yeah. I wonder how much it is on Amazon or to buy digital on
I just checked Apple and it's like $14.99.
Oh, that's not bad. So you're gonna buy it?
I'm gonna buy it on Apple, not on Prime, because on Apple you can download it. So I'm gonna buy it there, and I'm gonna believe that the love for this movie still lives within me.
All right. Well, we are gonna go watch Summer School from 1987 with great enthusiasm.
Yes, and hope. So much hope.
Anna's gonna pay $15 to go watch it.
I know, it's crazy.
And then when we get back, we're gonna review it. Yay!
Woo!
I wonder if I do have it.
Honestly, I'm starting to think maybe I might have the DVD, so I'm gonna take a look.
Yeah, I would check first.
Yeah,
nothing would be worse.
You heard them. Movie time. Let's all go to the lobby and get ourselves a treat, and then watch a classic kick-ass movie from whenever the one we're about to watch was made.
Okay. All right. Welcome back. Did you watch 1987's Summer School?
I did indeed.
What are your initial thoughts?
I still love it. You know what? I was very afraid because this podcast has made me afraid of watching movies I used to love. So I was a little concerned. I was like, is this still going to be good? And within the first few minutes, I was already laughing. And there were quite a few laughs through it. And it was sweet and it was nice, almost family friendly, except for, the stripping and the drinking and the swearing. But I mean, if you want something that's pretty mild to watch with like younger peoples, this is totally fun and it's light. And I was smiling through the whole thing. I laughed quite a bit and everything turned out okay. And I like that in a movie.
Hey, did you buy it?
I did. And I'm so glad I did.
Well, I'm glad we mentioned about going to look for it because I did buy it almost a year ago.
Perfect. I did not find a DVD, so I was like, oh, I must not have bought it.
No, I found actually, I guess there was a sale last summer, a comedy sale, because I bought like 10 of them. That was my receipts, and summer school was one of them. So I'm glad I went, because I would have been pissed. Because I probably would have bought it on Apple because of the download thing. I bought this on Amazon, but the receipt was all 10 of them I bought. There was like $4.99 each. So it was as much as a rental back last year, and I just forgot about them all.
Hey, so man, it happens.
10 movies that I haven't even seen. Yeah, I watched this with my 7-year-old. There were some parts where I'm like, fuck.
Cover your eyes. Cover your eyes.
But yeah, it was very, like you said, as soon as it starts, it all just started coming back to me. So
yes,
I do remember. I remembered a ton of this. Like, I saw it a lot. Once the movie started, I knew exactly what was coming, which was fine.
Yeah.
No, it was like comfort food.
Yeah, I'm not looking to be surprised.
No. All right, well, let's go over this movie. And where is it here? Surprisingly, from Wikipedia, the plot's pretty long.
I mean, a lot. You know what?
A lot
happens in this movie,
but not
it doesn't feel like it. Like,
it's
deep happens.
No, it's not a deep movie. No,
it's not a deep movie.
No,
it's super shallow. But there's a lot that happens in it.
But a lot goes on. Yeah. And I do get a lot of the negative reviews because I felt myself being like, what I found funny, laughing along, especially with Dave and Chainsaw.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, you guys are dicks.
Honestly, at one point, I wanted to smack every kid in that class.
Yeah. Like, let's get some fucking responsibility. Like, come on.
God damn it. Have some respect.
Poor Shoop. Like, Jesus Christ.
No, I felt there were times I was like, Shoop, you don't have to take this.
The other thing I did learn too was there was that where the Pam is crashing with him, and she made dinner, and she was like, "Do you want Italian or French?" And I'm like, "French dressing? I have not had French dressing probably since the 90s. I had it tonight. We were grocery shopping. I'm like, that's French dressing. I didn't even know if they still made it."
Yeah, no, I see it in the grocery store every once in a while. But I remember in the 80s and the early 90s, French dressing had a chokehold on Canadians, at least. I don't know how popular it was in the States, but we loved a French dressing.
Yeah, and so I bought it and I had it tonight. It was delicious.
I know.
Same amount of calories as like ranch, so it's not great for you or anything, but it tastes like, I'm like, fuck, this is really good.
You know what?
Why did I stop? I think ranch kind of pushed it out of the limelight.
Well, because I mean, it changes. Like everything. Do you know how hard it is to find Thousand Island dressing now? It's getting harder and harder, and it's one of my favorite salad dressings.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah, I haven't had that in a long time either.
And Lighthouse used to have a really good one. Like, it was in the refrigerated section. And then all of a sudden, my Freshco stopped carrying it, and I was like, "Are you not a thing anymore?"
Thousand Islands was good too.
Thousand Islands, so good. Once again, late 80s, early 90s, chokehold on the world for salads. But I'm a firm believer, if you're eating like a really big salad, put as much dressing as you want on it. There's enough fiber in there that salad dressing is just going to go right through you. So it doesn't really matter.
Well, yeah. And there's no calories in the salad. So you have like 500 or 600 calories of dressing.
That's the entire salad. I love a good salad. Anyways, let's get into this movie.
All right. At a Los Angeles area beat. Oh, that's another thing. No, never mind. That was another movie. Well, this one too. License to Drive last week and Summer School this week. The fucking high schools outside with the beach right there, and the lockers are outside, and you're walking around in this palm trees everywhere. I remember as a kid going, that must be cool.
We can't do that in Canada because winter.
Yeah, winter. Yeah.
Winter. California.
I think California's the only one that, well, I guess like Arizona and Florida.
Florida might have like open air.
Yeah.
Yeah. But every time I see one of those high schools, I'm like, oh, that would be so great. Could you imagine having like an outdoor quad?
Yeah.
We had some picnic tables like by the side of the front of the building, but it's not that exciting because right across the street was just a government building.
Yeah, not the beach.
Not the beach.
Not the ocean and waves and the beautiful.
Yeah, no, it was a bunch of like bureaucrats coming in and out of the office. Not exciting at all.
Yeah.
We were at Bay and Wellesley. It was not fun times.
Okay, at a Los Angeles area Beach City High School, on the last day of school before summer vacation, physical education teacher Freddie Shoup is preparing for a vacation to Hawaii with his girlfriend Kim. This was a good setup because everyone's getting ready, the countdown, everyone's excited. The truant officer is going around issuing tickets to certain kids, and you know they're going to be
they're the ones that are in trouble.
Yeah. But and then none of them are putting two and two together. They're just like, oh, what's this?
Yeah. Well, it gives a good setup of like who the teachers are, how they are. Like Shoup's got his dog in the class with him, doing a countdown to the end of like class. Other teachers are trying to teach and it's just not going well. And then, that one teacher that was played by Carl Reiner, God bless. Yeah. Scratching those scratch tickets.
Those tickets, yeah.
Just hoping for a win.
I was sitting there going, is that Carl Reiner? Yeah, it looks a lot like the director.
I literally, for 10 minutes, every time his face came up, I'm like, is that Carl Reiner or just someone who looks exceptionally like him? It was Carl Reiner. So we can all put that to rest now.
And the vice principal, I can't remember, Gills? At first, I thought it was like Steve Carell. What the fuck is Steve Carell doing in this movie?
Yes, a young Robin Thomas looks very much like a Stephen Carell.
Yeah. Vice Principal Phil Gills hands out paper slips informing several actually the truant officer did, but
same difference.
Underachievers, they must attend summer school for remedial English. Yeah, that's the one teacher. He's almost out and he goes, I need you to teach summer school. And he goes, what class did he teach? And he's like, remedial English. He's like, no, fuck that. Speeds out of the parking lot.
Out of the parking lot. He's like, nope, not doing it.
Not happening.
Then you see vice principal going to every teacher who's in the parking lot.
And they're all just not even stopping. They're like
trying to hurry with the 65 suitcases. And then he just hides behind a bush.
I'm like, what were you doing with all those suitcases at the high school? This movie, if you're remembering loving this movie, you can't go in thinking continuity makes sense because it doesn't. This is just a fun, nostalgic. Yeah. So
you know what it was when they were writing this, they're like, "Oh, we're going to need a reason for him
to be
in the parking lot." Should give him a lot of suitcases to put in the trunk. Yeah. Suitcases.
And I'm like, did you bring them to school? And then she brought what the fuck is going on here, dude?
Who drove? First of all, it's his car. Why are there so many? Did she take a taxi to the school?
Yeah. Where's her car?
At the school. Why didn't he just drive to pick her up and then they could go to the airport together? I don't understand what's happening. Why do you need 6 suitcases to go to Hawaii?
That was a lot of fucking suitcases to go.
It was a lot of suitcases.
Unless he was going for the entire summer.
Even so, are you telling me that there's no way for you to do laundry on the island?
Yeah, you'd probably want to do. Yeah.
And you're going to be living in swimsuits and shorts.
Yeah. Yeah, that made no sense. But it was funny.
Anyway, that was funny.
He was trying to pack it.
He was trying to pack it. And then he's like, oh no, the last teacher just drove out.
Yeah.
I'm a hide. I'll meet you at the airport. And he goes behind a bush.
Yeah, and the dog gave him away.
My fucking dog.
Wonder Mutt. Among the students are easily distracted Pam House, Nocturnal Larry Casamillas, a male stripper, football jock Kevin Winchester, pregnant Rhonda Altabello, geeky Alan Eakian, dyslexic Denise Green, intimidating Jerome Watkins, and 2 horror film obsessed underachievers Dave Frazier and Francis Gremp, aka Chainsaw. There were a lot more students at the beginning of this movie, and they just disappeared.
They ditched. They ditched very quickly, and Jerome went to the bathroom, and then
that was funny for a while. But it was funny because he's like, they all have to pass, or I'm not supporting your tenure.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, what about the 30 kids that just ditched his class? They're okay. It's like, didn't make sense at all, but whatever.
No, look, there's so much about this movie that doesn't make sense. It's not supposed to.
No.
It's just a fun movie.
The teacher scheduled to lead the class, Mr. Dorian, unexpectedly wins the lottery and immediately quits. Yeah, he's like, because he's like, I've seen people win $1 million and still return to their job the next day. And he's like, the kids are fucking losers.
Well, because I know in the States, I'm not sure about here what the system is, but you get paid extra for teaching summer school.
Yes.
So that's their summer job.
Yeah.
because I don't know if in the States they do the prorated thing where they kind of extend your salary over the summer or not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because here, I know, because you get paid the exact same, because I think in Canada you get paid the exact same. That's your yearly salary.
Yeah, you get paid your yearly salary.
So
but
you would get more summer.
No, well, you choose. If you teach in the summer, I think you do get paid more because your salary technically pays you from, I think, September to June or mid-August to June or something like that.
Do they have summer school anymore? Because they don't seem to fail anybody anymore.
I don't know if they still do. Maybe they offer extra courses for people who want to do extra courses
and want to get
Yeah, or someone who, maybe failed the class before, but they know they need to take the following class, so they retake it because even though they failed, I don't know, maybe you have to pass in order to take the next class.
Well, I've seen like memes where high school graduation, there's this one guy's like, if I can do it, you can do it. I had 26% average and I passed. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I think they can't hold
We're screwed.
They can't hold kids back a grade.
They can't, yeah.
Now, I don't know how I'm like, you should probably teach the kids early how to fail because Lord knows life is going to hand them enough failures that they should learn how to deal with it early on.
Yeah, I watched it wasn't a documentary, but it was a news thing where some of the kids are suing their school because they're stupid.
Well,
and they pass them on.
There are kids who are almost like functionally illiterate.
Yeah. Now
graduating high school. And I'm like, how the fuck do you expect them to just make their way through the world?
That's true. Yeah. I'd be pissed too. You want me to read? You want me to show up at 9 to 5 and you want me to read?
Type? And so for me, I'm like, I think it's a fair trade-off that you make the kids sad for a little bit when you fail them.
Yeah, fail them. Yeah,
fail them. It's gonna be sad.
It's gonna be a lot better for them.
They try again and do better.
Yeah, and not being like 30, going, I can't get a job. I can't even read the want ads.
I keep trying to fill out applications, but I don't know what they're asking.
Yeah.
Anyways,
where are we? So. Each manages to evade. Okay, emergency teachers still on. Oh yeah, he tries to get all the teachers still on school grounds. Each manages to evade him, quickly figuring out what he wants them to do until he finally corners Shoop, blackmailing him into taking the job or lose tenure. I thought that was only for college and university, not high school. But what do I know?
I didn't think you could get it in high school either.
It might have been just to like.
But I mean,
maybe.
If there are any teachers listening to this, Canadian or American or both. Even European, please chime in. If anybody, tell us how tenure works and if it's available in high schools in your country.
I know they can't fire you if you get tenure. That's like a lifetime.
Yeah, tenure means you're basically unfireable.
Yeah.
So you basically even still get paid if they don't have you teaching any classes.
Be awesome. I should have became a teacher. I should have paid more attention to school.
Honestly, sometimes I want to turn back the clock and be like, I could have faked it through university. I could have done teachers college. Yeah. And even though sometimes I lose my patience with children's, I should have become a teacher.
Just those summers off.
Instead, I went to film school.
Every holiday and non-holidays. And my kids had like 40 PA days this year.
I know. Well, PA days, you got to work as a teacher.
But I think they only go in for an hour and they have drinks. I'm almost positive that's what they're doing.
Not all of them. No, I have friends who are teachers. They tell me these things. Sometimes it's a full day.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like we're doing a workshop. They provided lunch. I'm like, I could do that. Yeah. Sometimes they're like, oh, yeah, no, we have a professional development day. And summer's off. I'm like, I would do it for that.
How long did it take to become a teacher? 4 years?
Well, you have to get your undergraduate degree, and then you have to do teachers college in Canada. So that's usually it's 1 year for teachers college.
Yeah.
And then 3 or 4 years for your degree, depending on how enthusiastic you are. I mean, I think there's still time for me to do it.
I was going to say, I could probably still do it. Like, sure, I'll be starting a little late, but you still get the rest of your summers off.
I would summers off. Every Christmas, New Year's off.
Oh, every
March break.
Not just Christmas off, 2 weeks in Christmas.
2 weeks at Christmas.
2 weeks. Yeah.
2 solid weeks without having to take any vacation time. And then there are some sick days and personal days, but you got to ration those. You got to ration those because then you still got to do work.
Go in sick. Don't waste them on actual.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks to Salma Hayek in The Faculty, we know that you save your sick days for when you're feeling better.
Yeah. so you can do something cool. And then just, yeah. And what do you need to get a full pension? 15 years?
Is it 15? Oh, I could totally do that.
That's what I mean. You'd still be able to probably, you'd be
Yeah,
before
because
65.
if I was to start pretty much either this fall or next fall going
Yeah.
back to university, then 5 years, that takes me to about 50.
Yeah.
And then
15 years, you could still
15 years, I could still retire
get under at
65 with a full
65.
pension.
You'd probably be able to retire quicker than you would at your next job. Because it
that is
probably
so
doesn't have a
fucking
full
true.
pension. You don't get a
That's
lot of
true.
pensions. For those listening, you might hear me saying, I'm going back to school to become a fucking teacher.
But are you actually?
Great having summers off. Oh my God.
And
it's not like they get paid shitty. It's not the greatest pay in the world, but it's not
the
bad.
greatest pay, but it's not shitty either. Like,
No.
it's pretty mid at the beginning, and it gets better the more seniority you have. So, like, once you hit 10 years teaching, you're making a really decent salary.
Yeah.
And then depending if you want to go into like management, basically assistant principal, that kind of thing.
Well, it's like Shoop said. He's like, I only got into teaching so I can get summers off. And he's going to Hawaii for the summer.
Could you imagine?
I'm gonna look into that. What am I doing?
Into it. What am I doing with my life? What am I doing?
Nothing that important. Do you want to go back to school for 4 or 5 years though? Actually, that wouldn't be bad either.
Well, yeah, honestly,
sit there and listen to someone tell me what to do, then go to Chat GPT and get them to write my paper.
It's really funny because when I decided to go to film school, because it was what's now called the Toronto Film School, but at the time was the International Academy of Design and Technology. Yeah. My mother was heartbroken over this.
Oh, she wanted you to do something better.
She wanted me to get my degree.
Yeah,
and I said, don't worry, I promise you, I will still get my degree, just not right now.
And if you go back, you're keeping a promise.
I'm keeping the promise. I'm keeping the promise to my dead mother. Also, I think it would be hilarious to be a first-year student in my 40s.
Yeah. Well, my wife is doing her master's.
God bless.
And she doesn't buy. I thought like it might be. I'm like, well, you're older than everyone. No one gives a shit. They're just doing their own shit.
Postgraduate work. I think postgraduate studies are a little bit different because those a lot of people do throughout their lifetimes.
Yes.
So it's almost normal to be in a class where the ages range from like 22 to 50.
Yeah.
Perfectly normal. For first year university, you might see it's mostly going to be 17-year-olds.
Yeah.
That's how old they fucking are now when they go into school sometimes. From 17 to 21 or 22. Like that's normally where and then you might get one or two who's like late 20s, early 30s. But really, I just want to live my life like Life of the Party.
Yeah.
That Melissa McCarthy movie. Love it.
Oh, yeah.
So I just have to go to a university with a sorority. But anyways, we should get to this movie.
Yeah. So for those listening, next week you might be listening to Jimmy and Anna, who are going back to school to become teachers, because we reviewed Summer School from 1987. And
we were like, this is kind of genius. Why haven't we done it? Yo, I'd have
Shoop is a genius.
I'd have the sweetest pension right now. I could have been retired by now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Anyways.
But full pension at 15. Like you said, you could still do it.
I could still do it.
Okay. On his first day, Shoop meets Robin Bishop, who is teaching American history next door. He falls for. When I was a kid, Pam, even the pregnant girl and Denise, they were all cute. The exchange student, oh my God. But Pam, probably Courtney Thorne
Smith.
Yeah, Courtney Thorne Smith was probably my biggest crush. Watching it this time, Kristie Alley. Oh my God. I'm like,
she was hot.
So hot.
She was hot.
Wow.
Yeah.
That dress at the end of the movie, I'm like, okay, everybody get it. I can watch this again. The whole movie? No, not the whole movie. The last 5 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
He falls for her, but she's already dating Gills. His first day is a disaster. Most of the students slack around, and Jerome goes to the bathroom and doesn't return. Beautiful Italian transfer student Anna Marie is transferred to the class in order for her to work on her English, much to the delight of Dave and Chainsaw. Actually, she comes a little fairly soon, but a little not quite right away. But we get an idea of who the main characters are.
Yeah, no. I think she comes in the second or third day of class.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there were a couple.
And this movie
missteps.
doesn't do a great job at distinguishing the days.
No, but
not at all.
I think I kind of appreciated that because then you never question how long anything is.
Yeah.
Like how
Yeah.
long have they been in school or how long? No, you're just like, they're in summer school.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
just
done summer school now. Done.
After some students inexplicably leave and the remaining ones attempt to leave class as well, Shoop admits he has no idea how to teach them. Rather than studying, he and the students spend their first few days having fun going to the beach, a theme park, and a petting zoo until Alan's Ekian grandmother finds out when he gets an allergy and tells,
Alan.
and his grandma tells on them. That was pretty funny. But the whole thing of them going to the theme park and them going to the petting zoo, that was pretty funny. The beach.
Well, yeah, because Shoop literally says, like, I don't know what to do. And then I think it's the pregnant girl who's like, we could do field trips.
Yeah, he goes, yeah,
He's
he
like,
just
okay.
and they say you just have to do something, and he's like, really? And then
Chainsaw's like, I have permission slips. Great.
Yeah.
He starts handing out blank permission slips.
Get your parents to sign, and then they just hand it to him. He's like, oh, okay. Yeah,
And
Dave
then
and
they have
Chainsaw.
fun.
The next field trip has to be the beach. We have to see Anna Marie in a bikini.
The funniest thing, though, is the bikini she was wearing. I'm like, I'm pretty sure those are in style now.
I think it's gone full because it was completely different, and then now it's starting to come back again. Yeah, I guess it fashion does that because for a while there, it almost looked 60s.
There was a little bit of 60s, like the kind of mod kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Little bit of hippie, but not as much as there was in the 90s when the boho chic thing came back. But now I have a feeling, because we did the 2000s and the 90s are still really hot right now, but it's starting to peter out. And I'm like, oh shit, does that mean we're going to get more 80s?
Sweet.
That would be so interesting. I can't wait to see what trends come back.
Yeah. You have to go hang out at the beach and be creepy.
Please don't.
After some students inexplicably leave. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Okay. Gil threatens to fire Shoop unless his students pass the end of the term test. Yes, he gets in huge trouble.
He gets in a lot. Well, he gets in trouble for taking his kids to but also because I think he gets in trouble for taking the kids.
Yeah, and there's an accident or something.
No, the guys get arrested.
Oh, yes.
For having booze.
And he says, no, that's not their booze. That's my booze.
It's my stuff. They were just watching it. Yeah. Contributing to the delinquency of a minor. And then they arrest him in his swim shorts,
roller skates.
And he calls.
The guard just pushes him in and he rolls into and they're like, it's like the worst hardened criminals you've seen. Yeah.
Through the whole when he's walking down the hall, I was like, is he still on his skates?
Yeah. They're blowing him kisses.
Robin bails him out, even though her and what's his name were supposed to go on a weekend trip somewhere, a winery maybe, the wine country. But anyways, they go into a meeting with the principal. He gets in super trouble. Vice principal Phil, is that his name?
Yeah, Phil Gills.
I don't know. Phil Gills.
Yes.
Basically is like, you're shitty. Those kids are shitty. You're all shitty. And Shoop takes offense to that. And he's like, the kids are not shitty or that shitty. And then they make a deal, basically, that he has to get every kid to pass before he can get tenure.
Yeah. So past the end of the term test, with Alan's suggestion, Shoop negotiates with each teen to grant them a favor if they study. The kids agree, so he gives Denise driving lessons, accompanies Rhonda to Lamaze classes, gives Kevin football lessons, allows Dave and Chainsaw to throw a party in his house and gives them rides to school, gives Larry a bed, the cot in the classroom, and then lets Chainsaw arrange a screening of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in class and allows Pam to move in with him.
Yeah, that one, Pam doesn't start out with that. She's like, I'll wait when it's time.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
uh-oh, that's a red flag, dude.
That feels very bunny boiler to me.
Seeing he is still floundering as a teacher, Robin tells Shoop to make learning fun. He begins to grow closer to the kids. They study to pass their English basic skills exam, worrying that Gills will fire him unless his students pass. And they do, because he has that thing where if you use proper English, you can you can get free stuff like chainsaw. His shades were always breaking.
Writing a
things-
letter to companies.
The companies.
But you have to use proper form, proper grammar.
Yeah.
Sign it with your legal name.
I like it when the two of them are in the back and he's like, okay, Denise, let's start your driving lessons. The two jump and they're like, no, we did driver's ed with Denise. We'll walk.
We'll walk. It'll be fine. They get in and they like lock the doors. I'm like, how do you think that's going to save you in a convertible?
My 7-year-old, when she kept looking in the mirror in the back, just started laughing. Like, she's like, what is she waiting for? And then the chainsaw is looking behind him and she like, what is she looking at type thing? Yeah, that was pretty good. Shoop is arrested, covering for chainsaw and Dave after they found in possession of alcohol. He desperately calls Robin and she and Gills bail him out of jail. Gills then inadvertently exposes his true self to Robin when he reiterates his dislike for Shoop and his students, and she overhears, causing her to storm off. This actually happens after the court case.
Yes.
Which they have to go on a field trip. I like that. We're going on a field trip tomorrow. Your teachers for contributing.
I have to answer to the charges. So you guys are coming with me. And then Chainsaw and Dave, thank you. Chainsaw and Dave try to help in the court.
Yeah.
They expose Murray as the seller of the alcohol to the underage.
Everyone knows Murray.
Everybody knows Murray.
He goes, are you just aware that you just admitted to the court of law that you were drinking under the age?
And the judge was like, did you show proof of any ID?
Of course.
Can I see it? No. I think I should see it. Okay. Yeah. So he hands it over. He's looking at it. And then the judge plucks it out of his hand and he's like, oh, it's gone now.
Yeah. And he's like, Vietnam? He goes, yeah, Vietnam changes the person.
A black Marine.
A black Marine in Vietnam.
He's like, Vietnam. I was like,
changes a person.
Does.
Larry loses his stripper job when he is found out by his aunt and mother when they go to the club he works. I like it when Shoop went there to try to pick up women.
Yeah.
And then he's looking at the stripper. And he's like, Larry? Mr. Shoop?
Hey, Mr. Shoop. Please don't rat me out. They think I'm 21.
The students make more demands on Shoop after he tells them they need to take a test. An early test. So he throws an English book against the chalkboard and after listing his sacrifices to grant their favors, quits his job in anger. His students start feeling guilty and scare off Shoop's dull replacement with a scene reminiscent of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That poor teacher.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because she also says, I usually sub for elementary school.
Yeah. Then she
walks
like, oh,
baby, this is going to be terrible for you. But I got to say, those were some great special effects.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah, they did look really good.
Yeah.
And also what happened is Robin was living with him and what was
not Robin. Pam was living with him.
Pam was living with him. Robin comes over to drop something off, sees Pam there and he's like, nothing's going on. She's like, that's not what she's thinking, like the way she's acting. And
she's like, this is dangerous, Shoop. And he's like, I don't know. She does my laundry. It's cool.
Yeah. And she cooks.
Smell me. It smells nice. You should try her French toast.
He does kind of tell her that this is not appropriate and she storms off all mad.
Yeah, because apparently it's perfectly normal to be totally hot for your 30-year-old teacher and then move in with him.
Yeah.
Start calling him Freddie and cooking him dinner.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Finding Shoop moping on the beach whilst eating ice cream, they ask him to return, and he accepts. Yeah, all this he accepts, and then not just the alcohol thing on the beach. Chainsaw totaled his car. They set fire to his home. They wrecked his couch with the fireworks.
They
killed his fish.
Threw big parties. Killed his fish with fire and lack of water at the same time.
Yeah.
He has been put through it. He was used as basically a tackle dummy while helping the kid Kevin work on his football. He taught Denise how to drive. Like
she passed her test and Chainsaw
passed her test. Chainsaw failed
after totaling the car.
Yeah. So I mean, the man was put through it.
Yeah.
He also had a 16-year-old girl living in his house, like showing up and just being like, I'm going to move in here.
Yeah.
What? That's not normal. But anyways, he loses his shit appropriately enough.
Yes, he does. Shoop and his students then begin preparing for the test in earnest. And even Jerome, who had gone to the bathroom weeks before, returns. Yeah, he shows up and he's like, wait, we're having a test. You can't come in here. He's like, yeah, I've been your
Yeah. He shows up for the test and he's like, I went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Everybody's
yeah,
like,
you're that guy that went to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back. Hey.
And he gets the highest mark on the
I know. He got a 91.
91. The exam goes smoothly despite Rhonda going into labor during the test. She later puts the child up for adoption. Gills tells Shoop the average of the grades was below passing, indicating failure, so he's ready to fire him. However, the students' parents come to defend him. Due to each of the students' marked improvement, Principal Kelvin grants Shoop tenure for his positive efforts, despite Gills' objections. I like the Chainsaw's dad. He's like, he's the reason we stopped having it. Oh, and Chainsaw gets mad that Dave passed. He's like, you asshole, you passed. And he's like,
I could retake it. I could fail it.
I could fail.
It's funny because they were like, oh, yeah, no. And Dave did better too. And I think it was Chainsaw's dad is like, well, that makes sense. They share a brain.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good too. Shoop returns to the beach with his dog and Robin in one of the hottest white dresses that I've ever seen.
That's a skirt and a top, my friends.
Skirt and a top. Yes, that's true.
Yeah. Because don't get me wrong, super cute. I was
like, she was attractive through the whole thing, but I'm like, my God, Kristie Alley. Why'd you have to die? No. He asked her to dinner and date for the last time, and she accepts at last, kissing in the sunset. And Wonder Mutt also finds Bob.
Yes, because Bob was lost
through the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, when Shoop was being all depressed on the beach, he threw Bob too far. Yeah. Wonder Dog could not get Bob. Bob was lost. But Bob found them again.
He tried to do that replacement, but Wonder Mutt wasn't having any of it. And that is our movie. All right. What is your score?
My score is a buy it. It's a hard buy it. I did buy it before making this decision. So I was keeping my fingers crossed I wasn't wasting $14.99. But then I watched it and I was like, God, it's a very classic 80s movie. The fashion is fantastic, by the way. You can also tell that it was done towards the end of the 80s because you can see a lot of like 90s fashion influences.
Yeah, you can start seeing.
Yeah, it's a great little like time capsule of that time. And it's just a almost wholesome, funny, lighthearted, very shallow. There is nothing deep about it, but it's fun and it is heartwarming. And you get attached to these kids, you get attached to the teachers, you want Gills to get punched in the throat. You're excited that teacher wins the lottery. Although I'm thinking to myself, $50,000, why are you quitting, boo? This is not enough for you to retire on, especially in the States, because you're going to get taxed on those lottery winnings. But it's a fun movie. And the runtime is about 1 hour and 40, and there is a lot that happens in this movie. But it's so well written and so well directed, you don't feel that. It doesn't feel exceptionally long. It doesn't feel like they're putting too much in there. But by the time the movie is done, you feel like you know every character. You know all of their backgrounds. You care for them, and you care about where they're going. And that's all you can really hope for in a movie. There's no deep story. There's no, moral compass that everybody's trying to follow. There's no dilemmas. But you don't need all of that. This is just a fun movie that you can put on after you've had a day at the beach while you're eating your pizza, and it's still very entertaining. I laughed a lot. I did. And so, yeah, it's a buy it for me. What's your score?
What would your IMDb be?
I'd probably give it a 7.6. Because it's still not a great movie, like, objectively.
Yeah, no.
But it's very entertaining. It's a lot of fun. And it's heartwarming. So I'm like, yeah, man, I would totally recommend this movie to people.
All right. Buy it in a 7.6. My score. If you remember liking Summer School from 1987, rest assured you will have fun rewatching this film. The nostalgia is huge, of course. The jokes are still funny, but you might find yourself scolding the students under your breath. The reviews that came in disliking the movie, I do kind of get more now that I'm old. The pacing is disjointed, as if each scene is merely to set up and execute a gag. Gags that are over the top, silly, and don't further the movie's abysmal plot. But the problem here is, this was like comfort food for me. The parts I found funny in the 80s and 90s, I still find amusing today. Now, whether that is because my childhood is riding the nostalgia wave of yesteryear, or I have not matured a whole lot. Doesn't matter. I had fun. This is a silly comedy from 1987 that I loved, and I still like today. If you can find this movie at a discount, buy it. This is a kick-off the summer movie to watch. Like, and it is a nostalgic treat. It is dumb, has no real focus, and is not well thought out. It's fun. It's just a fun movie. I say buy it at a discount. I would give this a 7. I don't know if I would pay $15. I wouldn't be disappointed if I paid $15.
Yeah, I'm not disappointed.
Tickled pink that I paid $4.99.
As you should be.
Yeah.
As you should be.
But I wouldn't be disappointed if I paid $14.99.
I think if this was, 2025, I'd be like, ooh, that feels a little steep.
A little steep, yeah.
But 15, I'm like, really, all I have to do is watch it 3 times. And I've made up the pays of rentals.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to watch it more than that. This is going to be the ultimate, like, put this on the background while I'm doing things movie.
This is going to be one of those things, I think, like during the summer, like, or beginning of summer to start kicking off.
Yeah.
I might miss it one year, but yeah, it's weird. I haven't seen this since.
You know what I just realized during your review? You said something and I was like, oh, this movie is just basically a really long montage.
Pretty much.
Like, there's the beginning, and then there's this summer school montage.
Yeah.
Then there's the end. And I was like, I do love a good montage. Is this why I love this movie?
Yeah. And I didn't look at my phone once.
Nope.
Oh, I might have did it to see someone's age. But no. But I wasn't like, there are some movies, even ones that I like, that I'm like, looking sometimes at my phones. I shouldn't, but sometimes I do.
No,
this one I did not. This was fun.
Sometimes if I get bored.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'll pick up my phone out of habit and start scrolling. And I'm like, oh, shit. Pay attention, Anna. Pay attention. But I know that if I do that, then this movie is not doing its job. This movie, I didn't pick up my phone.
No, it was good. Okay. Anything you want to add to Summer School 1987?
No, I think we covered everything.
All right. So we have a 7.6, a 7, or a buy it at a discount. Either way, we liked it. It was a good movie.
Yeah.
It's fun. All right. Well, thanks for coming back to 1987 and going over Summer School. No, yeah, Summer School.
Summer School. Yeah, that's what we watched.
Summer School. Yep. All right. And until the next movie we remember liking.
Congratulations. You just had one of your childhood movie memories vindicated. Or they just eviscerated it. I don't know. This is a generic one-size-fits-all type of ending to the podcast. So thank you for listening, and please join Anna and Jimmy next time for another episode of the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. If you dare to go back and watch that movie you remember liking,